So no, and this is not a, and
And
I go ahead,
sorry,
please.
Zach, but just to Ryan's point, like every relationship has an expiry date. Okay, it can be on death. It can be 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now, right? So this is
No, and
not
that
special and unique just to what you're dealing with here.
no, and that's a fair point. You know, I always value the outside opinion because I don't have all the answers. And the reason why I always like to reach out, in this case, to gentlemen who I've never had the opportunity to speak with or have a burden with in person, is because sometimes I desire that objectivity of people that are outside of my inner circle who aren't going to tell me what I suspect maybe what I want to hear.
What does your inner circle tell you about this? What do your military mates tell you about this?
That she is amazing and that she's a far better pick for me than anyone else I've ever been with.
So the standard was quite low to
Ryan
start out
called
with.
that.
That's the key. Yeah, you nailed it. That's why you're with her.
There was a video I did in the wintertime. I don't know if you caught it, but it was me just basically reacting to a Tony Robbins clip, and he was talking about raising your standards. And really, the question is, if you want to become a better version of yourself, if you want to excel, if you want more for yourself and for your kids and all that sort of stuff, you have to start by raising your standards. But if your standards
Sure.
are like in the basement, then like the next level is the main floor. Like you're not even on the top floor of the building, right? So it's like, you're starting from, you know, from square one.
Let me ask this: what is it about her that is so much better than your previous partners?
There are a plethora of items, and again, uh, there
Keep it
are
simple.
some. Sure. Bottom line up front, um,
She's hot for
she
46.
she's hot. Period.
Okay.
She's hotter than some of the 23-year-olds I've been with.
Okay.
The I and this is not just my opinion of myself. This is the opinion of, to your
I'm
point,
not asking about you. I'm asking about her. What does she bring that's so much better?
she brings a perspective that challenges me to be a better version of myself, which is what
Okay.
I need.
Good. What else?
What's that?
What else?
Sounds like mommy.
Well,
Mm,
keep on going. So she's hot. She challenges you. What else?
Um, she gives me the time of day. Specifically, we are able to. I'm sure you've heard this before,
Mommy does
but I
that
feel.
too.
Keep on going. It's fine. Keep going.
Hey, I mean, whatever works. I would respectfully disagree with that particular sentiment, but intellectually, I think that we're on the same level.
Okay.
I've thought about starting my own business for a few years.
Sure.
This is the first time I've been with someone who's
So she's actually smart, capable, and hot.
in a nutshell. That's it. If we want to keep it simple, smart, capable, and hot is a great summary.
Perfect.
It sounds
There
like
are
you're
a
defining
million
a
of those
man.
out there. Yeah. Well. Let's be honest. Like one of the things that I have a challenge with is that all the women that I date, they're amazing, they're submissive, they're feminine, but I also they're dependents. They can't play on my level at all. And that's really annoying, right? But so I can understand wanting somebody smart and capable and who's hot. The thing
So
is that there are a lot of those women out there. There actually are.
few of them are proven, though, and that's one of the things about.
Here's the thing about proven. She's proving herself in a very masculine space, which means
She
she's heavily
is.
into her masculine, right? Which means she also has a hard time getting into the feminine 9 times out of
Not
10.
not in this case, because I will tell you one of
Outside
the
of the
things
bedroom.
outside of the bedroom, and one of the things I really
Okay.
appreciate about this particular individual, want to go on about the attributes about her that I particularly appreciate, is the fact that it is really hard in 2022 to find a conservative female who wants to go to the shooting range with you, who also cleans up nice, puts on a sexy dress, and you look at it and you go, damn.
Not
That's
really.
all of Texas.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm in Ohio, so
So move.
I can't because my kids. Otherwise, I would.
Fair
But
enough.
fair
Fair
point.
enough.
But still, I
Yeah.
mean, like, she's not the only hot conservative chick that'll shoot guns with you. I mean, it's not like there's no line in the sand where it's like, oh, they only start at 46 and above.
Yeah, like
There,
fundamentally, Zach, like all the things that you're looking for, like I'm glad that you're looking to level up. That's a hell of a positive, good thing, right? And bringing around women who actually bring something to the table and can challenge you and actually keep you on track is a good thing. Like that's actually one of the major reasons why I'd ever want to be in a long-term relationship is to have somebody with me to call me on my shit on a regular basis, right? Because they can see stuff with you day to day that other people can't, even your best mates, right? Even the people that are in your inner circle, right? The thing is that she is so far ahead of you professionally, and everything else, and she is so far ahead of you in years. Number one, you can get a much better version of that who's younger and it's probably more in line with you in terms of where you're going to be going in life. Because she's aging 10 years faster than you are, right? It's often like the issue where the guy is running out before the woman is. The woman's going to be running out before you are in this relationship, right? So you can find that younger, tighter, hotter version of her who is also not so far ahead of you economically and everything else and is not so driven. So probably it's more time for you and your family, right? So just take a moment and think about whether or not that's actually possible for you. Because if you feel it's not possible, that might be the issue. One thing I see with a lot of guys is they find, this is the best person I've ever found, and this is the hottest person I've only version I've found with it. I'm going to go ahead and lock this down. And that was wife number 2. That was also a mistake. I say this shit because I have been there, done that. Okay.
Sure.
And every single time, it's a situation where I did not feel I could do any better, or there wasn't hotter, better out there for me.
Yeah.
In spite of all the red flags, in spite of all the differences, in spite of all the downsides.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I was going to say, Zach, like, look, you guys know, if you followed me for a while, my ex-wife is a lawyer. And I think when I met her, she was probably making slightly more money than me. It wasn't a vast difference. It wasn't like multiples. When you get involved with a chick that, like, women have pursued careers and done things, like, you have to understand something about this chick, Zach, is that she completely set aside being a mother, having a family, raising children to build a business, which is a masculine pursuit predominantly, right? Not to say there aren't female entrepreneurs and they can't be good at it. They can be very good at it. And I know several women that run businesses, but it comes at a cost, right?
It surely does.
Right. And when I say it comes at a cost, it's not just like a cost with having a family and, like leaving a legacy or anything of those things. It comes at a cost in the sense of it changes the fabric of their nature. Women that chase excellence get to 46, don't have a family, have a fantastic physique. You think they're attractive, they're cardiovascular, superior, blah, blah, blah. They make a lot of money. They're smart. They encourage you. They support you. They love your kids, all that kind of stuff. They've basically become superior versions of what it is that you're looking to be and become. Like, you're probably seeing a little bit of a reflection in there, and you're like,
100%.
Like, I admire this chick.
Totally
She's
accurate.
done something, but she's also partially playing the role of, you're definitely in her frame. I think even you would agree with that, and everybody here on the panel would say the same thing.
Yep, I'll be the first to admit
which is a very bad start. And then, the part after that is you're dealing with a female that's been masculinized and no longer a conventional, traditional type of female. There's no woman out there that runs a business, that's an entrepreneur, that's successful, that makes the kind of money that you're talking about with her, because you're saying it's a multiple of your 200 grand. It's a lot of money, right? So it's definitely a over $1 million a year business. She probably has employees, has been around for a while, knows something. That's pretty impressive, right? Women really look up to those guys. Like, I can tell you, like, as an entrepreneur, when you tell a chick that you run a business and you have the receipts to go along with that, the nice car, the lifestyle, where you travel to and stuff like that, that has a big impact. And women that go and chase careers like that, they basically masculinize themselves. And there's some guys that like that. I'm saying, look, dude, if you dig that, if that's part of your vibe and stuff, but just understand, like, there's a lot of stuff sitting here in your blind spots that we're pointing to. You may not like it.
And
there's two possible outcomes.
That's why I dialed in.
Yeah. And there's two possible outcomes here. Hey, it works out forever and ever until kingdom comes. She sees your kids go through university, become adults, you guys become grandparents, blah, blah, blah. Or it lasts, runs its course and it's done in whatever period of time. First step for you, just to really see where she's at, to really, like, square away where her head's at and what she's all about. Take that trip to Disneyland and see how you feel about her and see how she feels about your kids after that trip.
One last thing I will say is that dating as a guy in my 40s, like, I run into a lot of women, like, on the apps and stuff like that, especially professional women in their 30s and 40s who have not yet been married, not had kids. Those are big ass boxes on their life plan they haven't checked off yet. And you're kind of like a pre-built version of all of that for her. She doesn't have to work on.
So, and to dovetail off that thought, one of the things that we talked about after she finally shared with me her net worth was the fact that I didn't run away.
How many times greater is it than yours? Like, you don't have to tell us the
I'm
amount, but
not,
like
I'm not at liberty to share that information.
So it's that much, huh?
It's, it's, it is enough that I'm not at liberty to divulge that number.
Got it. Okay.
So one of the things I appreciate is that I'm not a 1%er, not even close. My goal is to be there someday. My goal is to, once I start my business in the next 12 months, to over the next 10 years, to organically grow to be a 1%er. But, I do okay for myself. When I brought females in the past over to my home after taking them out on a few dates, and they see my house, they see my car, they see the neighborhood I'm in, they see what my neighbors live in, what they drive, they inevitably, I can tell the gold digger light turns on. One of the things that is a huge breath of fresh air for me with this particular female is that I don't worry about that with her. Now I know that
But
this
that
is,
creates other problems, like you being in her
Yeah,
frame.
you got other issues to worry about.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you too, Zach. You mentioned at some point, we kind of skirted over it, that she
Sure.
gives you the time of day. I'm curious what that means to you, like what that means. Obviously, you've lacked it in your past relationships, and then also this thing too that you're mentioning with the young girls coming over and you're getting the gold digger vibes. You shouldn't be getting those as long as you're establishing the frame from the get go. Because you and I we're the same age, we're about the same place in life. We do kind of similar the same thing. You shouldn't be having those problems. Does that make sense? And if you have
Sure.
had those problems, my question would be why, and what does she gives me the time of day? That one kind of stuck with me.
There is one thing specifically that she has done that no one else I've ever seen, including my ex-wife, has ever done. Not with the expediency that she has, and this is not something I usually discuss with anyone, but Rich, perhaps you, and actually I don't know, I don't know the other gentlemen on the call, so I can't speak to what other gentlemen on the call have done. I'm in the process of writing a book. I began writing it before my ex-wife and I split up. She was never really interested in reading any drafts, providing any feedback. My girlfriend now, if I send her a chapter I've written, the same day sends it back to me, red inked, and says, "This is good. This is bad. This didn't make any sense to me." And that is for like a better term, like I'm just gonna say it. It's a tremendous ego boost. It makes me feel.
Zach,
Yep,
I know the
yep,
feeling. My ex-wife wrote the first legal contract for my first business.
Yeah, look, you're in a situation where you're getting.
That doesn't
more
mean
than
that you should marry her, though.
No. However, what it did mean to me was that all the other females I dated were not worth marrying if they couldn't be bothered to show at least that degree of,
Okay,
I don't want to say respect.
Okay, but who's saying that you're not going to get there with this one, right? Because it's still fresh.
This one is not that fresh.
How fresh?
We've been a little less than a year.
That's fresh, dude. Like it's fresh for the first 12 to 16 months, I would say.
And that's fair. And I know you've made the point, about, you've discussed time frames in the past,
Yeah.
and this is fair points. I don't want to at all sound argumentative. The only possible counterpoint.
No, but the point that I'm getting at, Zach,
Sure.
is that you're with your wife, you have a couple kids, or 2 and 4. I'm assuming that you're with her for a few years before that, right? You've got a long-standing relationship. So her opinion of you from day one, when she decided to touch your pee-pee and have sex with you and get into a relationship and marry you, obviously changed over time, right? So I mean, you've been with this chick for less than a year. Who says that the next time you try to write a book or a manuscript, she's going to send it back so eagerly redlined, right? Again,
this stuff seems like a low bar. I want to go. I think Ryan's point, like the stuff that you brought up about what's cool about this chick, like these seem like very elementary, very low bar as far as, okay, she's good looking. There are literally millions of beautiful women out there that are younger, that are more feminine. She takes your stuff seriously and helps you edit your book. Okay, like that's nice. But I mean, I'm not hearing anything like I was bedridden for 6 months and she never left my side, or she fought tooth and nail to get me this and that. And these seem like, it just seems like a low bar. And it's just because it seems like maybe you didn't have you haven't experienced enough of these positive qualities in these women. Like the first time that you're getting this, it's like, gotta have it, gotta lock it down. It's the best I'll ever have. Never had it before. That means it's meant to be, kind of stuff.
And that's possible. And it is possible. And I'll be the first to admit it's possible I'm making a huge mistake. Like I'm not so self-assured as to say that. Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit more than that, Ernesto. But suffice to say, I'm not so self-assured to say that, oh no, this is the only, like, this is she's not my soulmate.
How
But
much
I
did
also
you
don't.
date?
Well, in
How
that
much
case-
did you date? How many other women did you date between your divorce with your ex and then this woman now?
At least a dozen.
Okay.
Like
So here's what I
long
would say.
term, or yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Here's what I'd say is like, look, Moff kind of nailed it on the head. This is the first time you're getting a woman who actually has her shit together, isn't a total basket case, is relatively hot, and treats you well. It's an amazing experience, right? I can understand why it's really got you in a place of like, let me lock this down, right? I get it. All I would say is that there are probably better options out there.
So
The
and
fact
that
that you have, yeah.
oh, sorry,
The
go
fact
ahead.
that you have- the fact that you have had this experience is a phenomenal thing. If she's the one, great. You're telling me she's not your soulmate, so why are we having this conversation?
No, that's an extremely important point, because I personally don't believe that there is, in a planet of 7 billion people, I don't believe that there's one person for you. I believe that we're all fucked up. Pardon my French. Don't know. Sorry if I cuss on your pod stream or podcast. But yeah.
No, that's Drew Buffalo Chick already destroyed the algorithms with her.
Okay, well there we go. But suffice to say, I believe that, call me old fashioned, I believe that relationships actually take work. Without saying anything.
Actually, believe it or not, the greatest relationships don't take work.
Don't take much.
Yeah, they're actually pretty easy. Yeah, they just kind of fall into each other.
Well,
so
I mean,
if you find yourself working for a relationship, it's a pretty good sign that you're not in a good relationship.
So, to that point, I would say, which is why it's been such a breath of fresh air, that this one has felt as natural as it has. But even if I were to hypothetically come across someone else who I thought was a better fit, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to drop what I have, because at what point? Because at what point is good enough? So to make a business analogy,
settling.
Let's quantify. No, it's not fear. Let's quantify this.
Like good. Like
he's asking you difficult questions.
Let me go ahead and let me step in for a second, because Zach's right here. It's like it's not just fear, right? There is a certain amount of like the optimal choosing problem, secretary problem. Yes, I absolutely get it. But the fundamental point is you're only 36.
So let's quantify this. You're
not that old.
Well, so let's quantify this. Is there a dollar amount where once I hit this dollar amount, I'm good, or do I always need to be making more money? Now,
has anybody here been suggesting that? No.
No. And I'm not saying that anyone has.
But with what you're making, you can get some really nice young girls that'll be totally bought into you. Like you will not have any of these conversations.
Yeah,
I'm making an analogy here. So what I'm suggesting is, for example, my goal here. So there's a certain lifestyle I would love to be able to live, and there's a certain lifestyle I'd love to be able to provide for my children. So once I hit that dollar amount, working harder than that for me, what's the return on my investment for working harder than that once I hit that lifestyle?
Here's the deal. Okay, so here's the thing: is you're looking at the positive side of the equation, saying these check the boxes and hit my minimum threshold for me to be able to retire from the game.
It's a little bit more than the minimum. You know what I mean,
right? You know what I'm saying, right?
Sure. Okay, fair. Okay.
We're saying, hey, there's all this shit on the negative side you're not paying any attention to.
No.
And because of that, the positives you're seeing are not actually as good as you feel that they are, because the negatives subtract enough from it that you're below threshold now again.
So let's
see what I'm saying?
Okay, so let's follow that thought stream to its logical conclusion. So let's say that I make a huge mistake here, and let's say that this particular female and I, we don't work out. What are the lasting consequences?
2 years of your life. Maybe more.
For you, Zach, I'll be honest with you. This is a low risk relationship if it has to untie itself. So if you're looking at it from the perspective of playing not to lose, then yeah, she's a good choice, right? She has more than you. She's not after or able to go after anything you have.
That's huge for me.
If anything, the prenup is going to be worded in such a way where she won't be responsible for paying child support to those kids, which may or may not be enforceable in a court. So there's something you said. It's very easy, this one from the perspective of, well, at least I won't lose half my shit. At least I won't have to pay her child support. At least she won't be able to steal my kids from me or anything like that. I get it.
Dude, you're playing scared. Yeah. You're playing scared. Fundamentally, you're playing scared.
And maybe I am. Maybe I am
playing scared. You absolutely.
Maybe I am. I mean, maybe I am.
You don't want any other kids, though. I'm assuming like you've been snipped or whatever. You don't want any more kids.
I have not been snipped. And
does she want any more kids?
uh, we've talked about it, but the fact is that, I mean, she is 46 years old. It is probably unlikely. I have a, I know my children are very young, but I have a great relationship with them. I love my kids. They love their dada. It presuming that the two kids I have are the only kids I'm ever going to have, then I'm still doing a-okay. At this point, um, I call me selfish. I'd like to be happy with the person I'm with. I'd like to be able to actually enjoy their company. And, while I'm not looking for them to be a mother to my children because they already have a mother, I would like for the at least 50% of the time that they're with me, for us all four to be able to have a good time.
Look, here's the deal,
And
man. Like
yeah,
you've got very low bar here that you're trying to clear, a very low bar, and you're playing scared.
I mean,
You can do
that's
far,
possible.
far better. You could do far, far better.
He's playing
You
not to
know,
lose, man.
you're playing not to lose, and that's okay. If you want to play scared, if you want to play it safe, cool, do it. You're not going to get a lot of support from guys on this panel because all of
And
us are
that's
trying to
fine.
do a lot better.
Yeah, you want to
But at
call one of
least you
those,
know.
like, other shows if you want to get support. Like, you go,
No,
dude. Like, that's a good idea.
I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I'm looking for people to tear down the plan. So
Oh,
this
it's
is
been torn
this.
down. Yeah, it's been torn down tonight.
Well, this is MDMP in a heart shell, or in a nutshell. If your plan can survive being torn down, then it's a good plan. If it can't survive being torn down, then you need to go back to the drawing board.
So
Zach,
Well,
we can
like,
tell you made up your mind already. We know
Is it a good
we can
yeah,
tell
yeah,
plan?
yeah.
you're
Like, your
prepared to
mind's
stick
made
around.
up, and I think that Chris made a good point here in the chat. He said this poor guy's ego is too big to listen to the wealth of knowledge and experience being given to him.
Why is that the
He
opinion
has,
here?
hold on. He has fully justified the complication and has taken the feminine role so hard he's leading with his feelings and is using them to ignore logic. So that's just the observation of somebody in the chat. Again, you may not like it, you may not want to hear it, but all we're doing is we're holding up a mirror, just reflecting some shit back. Some of it's in your blind spots. Some of it you already
And I
know
appreciate
about.
that. That's why I called in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Zach. Thank you for your time. Let us know how it works out, man.
Appreciate
Good luck,
it,
brother.
gentlemen.
Good luck.
Thanks, bro. Hey guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that short clip. If you did, consider supporting the creation of content by checking out my supplement line. Pinned in the top comment below of this video in the comments, there's a link to the unpluggedalpha.com/shop. When you click through, you'll be able to land over here, and the entire lineup is broken down by category that it performs best in: estrogen metabolism, fat burning, your foundational essentials for health, immune health, performance, and testosterone support. If you check out with coupon code ALPHA10, you'll get 10% off on your first order. There's also the option to use the subscribe and save model, where regular shipments will be sent over to you on a regular basis, and that gives you a little bit of a discount, and your supplement facts are always broken down over here. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, check out that link. It's pinned in the top comment below in this video. Peace out.